One of the most crucial aspects of any team is communication. Without it, mistakes are made, misinformation reigns, and conflict arises. According to a study by Sailor Academy, nearly 75% of all communication in the workplace is misinterpreted or misconstrued, costing businesses time and money. Wanting to improve our communication efforts within our inside sales team, we took a DISC assessment to understand our employees better. We sat down with Nelson Batista, Regional Sales Director, to ask him how we implemented DISC, how it improved communication, and what it meant for productivity in the office.
100%. I think for the people that are still here that took the DISC, we actually look at each other sometimes when we're talking amongst ourselves with new people, and we're saying this person is this category. We have to watch out how we're talking to them because they may not fully interpret what we're saying clearly, or we need to take more time and give them more structural feedback because they need to know how the watch is made, and not only what time it is. So when we do that with them, we then ask them, what did you get out of it? And see if they got the same thing that we wanted them to get. And then we can know that we're... Interesting enough, taking the actual test to find out what our characteristics were took about maybe 20 minutes. We were able to sit at our computer, answer a series of questions, and then it actually collected that data and then came up with the category. I think the piece that was most important that took a little bit more time, which was about 45 minutes to an hour, was understanding each one of those categories because they're all different. So if you are direct, it'll tell you the characteristics of being direct and what are the benefits and what are the blind spots. Also importantly, how having someone who's a direct leader, what kind of things they normally affect. Like they're more direct, they look at the numbers, they're very detail oriented, they want fast results within a certain timeline. So all of their communication style is let's go now, let's go now, let's go now, let's get everybody going together in this direction, etc., etc. Then you have some supportive, which is the S on DISC, which is very much like Josie, who's my leader. She's the mortar that holds all the bricks together. She makes sure everybody's head is straight on in the morning, make sure everybody knows what the role is, making sure that everybody is in the good spirits. And then you have me coming in with the direct information about, hey, here's the numbers, here's what we need to do. So now we got a mixture of both styles that complement each other in a room. And the numbers speak for themselves. I mean, since we've actually started working together, taking into considerations that everybody has a different behavior. They have different attitudes. We have to use different techniques to approach them, and most importantly, get the best out of them. And share with them what we're doing so that they can take that home. Because it's not just for them to come to work and perform here. We prefer to make better people too, other than just having great employees. I think the I is the influencer, and the C, I can't remember what the C, I think is a charismatic or supportive, I can't remember what that's called. But I think there's less influencers in the room. There is a lot more supportive. I think if we took the test again, there would be a shift. And I think that's the most important thing about these DISC tests. These DISC tests, they give you a snapshot of where you're at currently, and they also show you what you can do to kind of move yourself closer to the middle, because we all want to be a little bit of all of those characteristics. You may be dominant in one area, but you want to be supportive, you want to be an influencer, you want to be able to do all of those options, right? So I think after taking a test, it'd be interesting to find out again where we're at, because I've seen people shift. I've seen some people who were very much in the background as a background support person in the last 6 months with the support, the better communication, the better follow-up, the direct conversations about performance, listening to what they have to say, hearing what they're really saying after they say it, has gotten the performance to be better. Interesting enough, it wasn't bad. It wasn't received wrong. I think when we rolled it out and we actually shared it with them, we told them what the purpose was. Clearly, this is not to categorize you as an employee and to use the information against you. This is specifically to talk a little bit about what your strengths may be and what some opportunities may be, and for us to work at as a team. Now understand, everyone is going to do this, including the leaders in the room. Even Mr. Mosca took the test, because we want to see where we fell on that spectrum or that grid. Everybody, when we finally did it, they were looking up at the grid and they were like, oh my God, I'm in the same category as Mr. Mosca, or I was on the same group as Josie, so I'm like Josie, you know, and people found other reasons to be connected to the people that they work with because they had similar styles, or they were merging as a similar style of communication as the people they work with. So you saw like little groups get together. We saw that when we actually put groups together, we try to have a little bit of all of the styles in the group so that there was cohesion whenever someone was leading a team or when we had a contest, and we stepped back to see what the results were. We were also able to identify some people that had leadership qualities that were hidden underneath their normal performance. So we said, you know, this person's actually like an undiscovered leader. Like, we need to give him a chance to be in charge of something and see what happens. And we've seen people actually grow and actually come forward and actually put out great results.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So just for the videos content, that test.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So we're a call center, and our department is specifically not only speaking to owners throughout the United States and different states at different times of the day. We're specifically trying to reach out to people and find out how their businesses have been doing over the last 2 years, because we provide support to those businesses. Interesting enough, we have a group of incredibly talented people. They all come from different backgrounds, different states. And that piece of trying to help people was like our catalyst for actually taking this, because if we can learn more about the people that we're talking about through their communication style and their behavior, we can then adapt faster to serving them. Right. So I can tell you some of the great things that we've noticed is there has been a lot less turnover than there has been in the past. I think we were losing about 2 or 3 people a day. And we were constantly in a turn of hiring people and looking for the right people, without realizing that we should not only look for people who want the job, but look for the right behaviors that complement the job. So we were finding the right people with the right attitude who wanted to do this, okay? So the great thing is that we had less turnover in the last 6 months than I've had in the 6 months prior to taking DISC. The second thing is that overall our results have gone through the roof. I mean, we're starting to see a lot of potential where we used to just do about 2 appointments a day, 3 appointments a day, 7 appointments a day, and then you have like a day where, you know, you did 15. But now we're starting to do 10 appointments a day. So a week before the DISC was like, well, we did 12 to 17. Now we're looking at, hey, we did about 40 appointments this week, 30 appointments this week. And now we're looking at, now that we've got 30 or 40 appointments this week, let's get to 50 and let's see how many of those appointments are going to turn into an actual, a good visit with the owner. So now we're looking at the back end of our conversations with the owner. I specifically also listen to the calls now, and speak to Mr. Mosca as well as Josie on a daily basis. And we look at things that we can fine tune to make sure that we can even strengthen the appointment so we don't have any cancellations. I would say yes. And I would say I would even go further. Before, it was a bunch of individuals who worked together that came into work and worked between the hours that we're supposed to operate. Now it's more of a family. So there's things that you can say to a person and they know that it's coming from a place of genuine care, because you want them to do better, than rather than as taking as destructive feedback. They understand it's constructive, because what we do is we try to make sure the message is clear. And that's actually helped us a lot, because when you can say something to someone and they know this is a safe place, he's really trying to help me out, or he's even open to feedback, you can't get that any better than that. You know what I mean? That removes all the stuff, the misunderstanding of what he was really trying to say, or is my job in jeopardy? No. Hey, we're just trying to tell you this because this is important. What do you think? How do you see it? And all actually see the same way. So it's actually a family now.
Thank you for watching. If you want to read more about Disk and how we implemented it in our business, click on the first link in the description below. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more content just like this.